As a lifelong car enthusiast, I never would have thought that in 2022, Toyota would be leading the charge with the coolest of the cool cars. This is the 2023 GR Corolla. What's it like? Let's go for a drive. I'm your host, Brian Max, racing driver, lover of driving fast, fun things. And on this channel, you get reviews for drivers from drivers. Now this is properly fun and fast. This is the 2023 Toyota GR Corolla, but this is the cool one. This is the Morizo, and these are very limited edition. This is very much track focused, but keep in mind there are two other trim levels for this GR Corolla that you can enjoy on the road as well as the track. But before we get into what this GR Corolla is like to drive, let's have a look at it in a little more depth. While this does look to a lot of people like a regular Corolla hatchback, it is fundamentally different in many ways that aren't apparent. For example, starting with the chassis, apparently there are an additional 349 welds, and there's much more structural adhesive in the construction of this GR Corolla versus the regular hatchback. And on top of that, there are 4 separate chassis braces in this thing as well. The engine is Toyota's special 1.6 liter 3-cylinder turbo. It's a single scroll turbo, makes 300 horsepower at 6,500 RPM and 273 pounds of torque from 3,000 to 5,500 RPM. Keep in mind the Morizo has a different torque curve for a bunch of different reasons. It makes an additional 22 pounds of torque. The transmission is a manual only. The Morizo has different ratios. It is, of course, all-wheel drive, and you can set torque split to 60 front, 40 rear, 50-50, or 30 front, 70 rear, which is very cool, and we'll get into that a little bit later. In the US, the entry-level model has open diffs, while the Circuit and Morizo use front and rear limited slip diffs. In Canada, they all get limited slip diffs as standard equipment. Suspension's based around McPherson struts at the front, double wishbone at the rear, and the Morizo uses different suspension calibrations than the other models. Steering is electrically assisted. Brakes are 4-piston calipers at the front with 14-inch rotors, 2-piston at the rear with 11.7-inch rotors. Wheels and tires are 18s, while the Morizo gets forged wheels. The other models use cast wheels. Tires are 235 wide Michelin PS4s on the Core and the Circuit, while the Morizo gets 245 wide Michelin Cup 2s. One of the cool things they did with the GR Corolla is they ditched the electric parking brake, and it's actually got a conventional old school handbrake lever, and some of us know what that's used for. Nonetheless, curb weight of this GR Corolla is around 3,200 pounds, with the Core being the heaviest and the Morizo being the lightest, given all the lightweighting that's gone into the Morizo. Immediately you jump behind the wheel here, and it's a Corolla-like seating position. So you're seated high off the floor. The biggest difference, of course, is there's not that Corolla-like body roll here. So that is a very good thing. And seating position's fine, just a little high off the floor for my liking, and that's a common complaint I have. But otherwise, I'm interfaced to the steering wheel and the pedals just fine. And like that layout, nice dead pedal, which I'm using right here in this corner as well. Lots of flexibility in this engine, which we will talk about in a little bit. Now, the Morizo is just a very unusual car, very focused, and a very small audience, really, for this car, no question. But I have no trouble at all keeping up with the other cars here in this Morizo. This thing is very, very quick. Let's see how it does going into this corner. Wow. It's very easy to transition onto the brake pedal and then off the brake onto the gas. Wow. No problem. Excellent brakes, by the way. Just very precise control. That brake pedal is exceptionally positive. It handles this transition quite easily. Love the way the gear shift works, actually, and I will say the clutch actually has good feel as well. Very happy with it. Yeah, the pedal layout, very, very good. No trouble with transitions from throttle to brake and brake to throttle, as well as heel and toe. It's quite good. Wow. And the motor actually sounds really cool. It doesn't sound funny, or it's actually got a very cool mechanical sound. And this is a bit of a special motor, as you probably know. Okay, interesting. Yeah, it's very easy to be precise on the throttle as well, which is helpful when you're around the limits and working on a track like this. No question about that. That works very well. Very happy with that. And let's transition onto the front straight. Third gear, fourth gear, and of course I'm catching the Supra, so I got to lift a little bit. Braking as we're turning down to third, off the brake onto the throttle, pick up the throttle here. Very impressive. Now, I do have the all-wheel drive system set to that 30-70 rearward bias split, and that seems to be the way to go for racetrack work. I mean, if you're doing other things, you'll probably want to use a different torque split, but here on the racetrack, that 30-70 torque split is quite good, very appropriate, and it's also very neutral as I'm coming back onto the throttle. I can be pretty aggressive with the throttle when I pick it up, so I kind of dig this. And of course, you know, this thing has limited slip diffs front and rear, and like, how cool is that? And they seem to work very, very well. So you've got a lot of confidence to put down power here. It is very good in terms of putting down power. This all-wheel drive system is no joke. Like, this is really, really good. Let's try second gear through this little autocrossy section and try and do a better job here instead of rushing through it. Yeah, hitting all my marks, no problem. And then pick up the throttle up to third, up to fourth, and we're basically flat. Catching these guys down to third, transition off the brake, pick up the throttle, and there we are. We are done with the session. What is incredible is how well this puts down power. This one, of course, is on the Cup 2s, so it's got lots of grip, even though we're near freezing temperatures right now. There's still lots of grip. I'm braking a little bit earlier than I needed to, but this thing is so well balanced. I mean, it is based on a Corolla, which is sort of front-wheel drive architecture. This is all-wheel drive, but nonetheless, this thing is very, very easy to drive. It kind of reminds me of how easy to drive that Audi TCR from Compass Racing was like to drive. I never expected something to be so neutral, and this is what we got here. Yes, it is four-wheel drive. What I love about it is that you can put this in a rearward bias torque split, and that just absolutely works on the racetrack. This is just incredible. I mean, coming out of some of these corners, I just mat the throttle, and this thing just sorts out how it needs to put down power. Even here, we crest the hill. That's very tough to do, and no trouble at all putting down power. And here in this corner, a little shorter radius using second gear. Wow, and then up to third. Brilliant. Now, what is impressive about this GR Corolla is the fact that it really does feel special. It feels really well made. And, you know, the regular Corolla is a premium compact car, but this is something else. It feels exceptionally rigid. And yes, the chassis is more rigid than the regular Corolla. This is just incredible. Wow. I mean, brakes very positive, as you know. Steering, turn-in response is ridiculous. I think part of it has to do with us being the Morizo and tires being the Cup 2s, but wow, I've just got tremendous confidence in this car. If you've never done a track day before and you're a new GR Corolla owner, well, have the confidence to take this to a track day. for the amount of abuse I've seen these things sustain all day today, this is one tough machine. So if you're gonna buy something like this and intend to take it on the track, I highly recommend it. I should mention that the manual is very easy to manipulate. The throws are relatively short, the gates are relatively well defined, the clutch is clear, especially on downshifts. It does a fantastic job at that. I hate this section of the track because it reminds me of an autocross, but this car has no trouble rotating through corners and then putting down power exiting a corner. Wow. And then, of course, it's just quick in a straight line. Oh, wow. This is incredible. I can place this on a dime, and that is either with the steering wheel or the brake. This is just an incredibly responsive machine. This does a great job here on the track. I am very impressed. And of course, the regular GR Corolla is just easy to drive on the road, and this is, I guess this is really a next generation hot hatch. That's kind of what this is, and with the sophisticated all-wheel drive system, this thing is something special. How do you spec yours? Well, the good thing is, pretty much out of the box, this GR Corolla has most of the performance considerations that you want. In the US, the Core starts at $36,000, the Circuit is $43,000, and the Morizo, if you can get one, is about $50,000. In Canada, the Core is $45,000, the Circuit is $54,000, and the Morizo is $60,000, but only 10 are coming to Canada. My Canadian friends, there is one key consideration, that is front and rear limited slip diffs are standard in Canada. So in the US, that's not the case. So all three trim levels here in Canada get the limited slip diffs as standard equipment. That said, if you're looking for the best all-around daily driver and occasional track car, well, it's undoubtedly the Circuit. If you are looking for the ultimate factory special GR Corolla, there's no doubt it's the Morizo, and there is no question in my mind it is the quickest around any racing circuit. Certainly that has to do with the tire, but that also has to do with the individual suspension calibrations they addressed with the Morizo. It is a fantastic car all around the racing circuit. Don't know if I'd want to drive that daily, hence if you're looking for a daily driver, I'd go with the Circuit. My verdict, well, I'm clearly impressed by this GR Corolla, especially the Morizo. That is a finely tuned hot hatch. It's all-wheel drive. Its ability to put down power and make me look like a hero around a racing circuit I've never driven before. Very impressed. And on top of that, it feels properly built, like it is a special car. Even though this is a Toyota Corolla, it looks like a Toyota Corolla to regular people. To us, we know it's a GR Corolla and what that means, and it absolutely feels like a proper factory special. It's ridiculously quick, and like I said, very approachable and very, very easy to drive quickly. So looking for an all-wheel drive hot hatch? You have no choice. You have to look at this GR Corolla. It's amazing. Thanks for hanging out with me today and having a look at this 2023 Toyota GR Corolla. Hope you liked this episode, and if you did, you're not new to YouTube, you know what to do. Smash the subscribe button, turn on your notifications, like this video, and as always, sharing is caring, so please share this episode with your friends, especially on Reddit, because on Reddit, they really need to see reviews for drivers from drivers. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And if you want to support the channel, please hit up our merch store. Links here, links below. Lots of great stuff for driving enthusiasts like us, including our very popular line of Save the Manuals merch. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you again next time. And remember, cars don't understeer by themselves, not even Toyota GR Corollas.